Today's video is going to be actually, I think, the only collab I have this month. I think this is the only collab I have set up for December. And it is a collab with one of my very dear friends here on YouTube, Mia from Mia's Virtual Vanity. And today we're going to be talking about the worst releases of the year because we both like getting sassy and salty, and we thought that that would be a good thing for us to collab on because she does anti-hauls, I do anti-hauls, she gets sassy about brands, I get sassy about brands. We have a similar sense of humor. But I have gathered things. We're going to be talking about the worst releases of the year, and I'm going to be basing pretty much all my opinions on A, like the reception of the product, B, just my impression of it, and C, any sort of reviews that I watched, because to be perfectly honest, I did not buy a lot of things this year. I'm trying to think of like the new palettes I got. Like, I got a palette sent to me by a subscriber. I got a highlighter sent to me by a subscriber. Was the Flower Punk palette, was that this year? Was that my birthday? I don't even know. I think that was my birthday. I got some Midas palettes that were pretty good, but there was nothing that I bought or anything that I got in the mail that was like bad. These are products that I don't own, but we're gonna talk about them anyway, and we're gonna get ranty and we're gonna get petty and we're just gonna get sassy for reasons, because you know, sometimes you just want to be sassy and petty for an indeterminate amount of time. Depending on how long this video ends up being, maybe I'll put that up right here next to my face. How long was this video? I don't know. Let's actually start out with something that recently went on sale. I didn't realize it went on sale until I was watching Lauren May Beauty's video on Monday, and the new, relatively new, as in the last few months, Urban Decay Eternals, Marvel Eternals palette collection, the whole shebang. I've never been a fan of Urban Decay's like giant like diorama type packaging that looks just way too bulky to fit anywhere and just unnecessarily large and bulky. And this palette definitely fell into that category. It was just big for the sake of being big. The colors didn't really, they weren't inspiring. They didn't really like scream anything particularly. And something about the way that Urban Decay does their marketing images and the way they just market things in general, it doesn't feel as effective as it used to be. And I feel like some of these brands should just fucking hire me at this point. Like, you've seen my palette redesigns at this point. Like, hello. I'm being facetious, but only partially. Urban Decay really doesn't, I feel like, do marketing as well as they used to, and the way that a lot of these brands that are like growing and succeeding, the way that they're doing it, and they just haven't hit that same magic that they did years ago. And this is one of those things, because I don't necessarily see anything particularly like Marvel Eternals about this palette. Like, everything I've seen of it, I'm like, I mean, it's clear that like Disney set up this collab for some reason, but it just feels so lackluster. And the fact that it's already gone on sale even before Christmas, like, it didn't come out technically for Christmas, it came out in the fall, but the fact that it's already gone on sale says a lot about what people thought of it. They just didn't think, that's the thing. Without looking at lists of things, this was so unmemorable, like so unmemorable. When I looked at it, I was like, all right, that was a thing. I didn't even redesign it because it was so boring, and it's just not pretty. The packaging is big and unnecessary, very dated looking. That's the other thing. It's very dated. It's very like 2015 type packaging that just isn't now. It's just unnecessarily large, an unnecessary waste of space, and I don't like it. And I think it was received poorly because clearly it's already gone on sale. People aren't buying it, so they're like, we gotta get people to buy it somehow, so let's just put it on sale. Not a fan. I thought it was very boring. These are in no particular order, by the way, although I think I might save the worst for last, but if you know me, you know what will be the worst. Next are the Hourglass single eyeshadows. And again, this was another one that I forgot existed because I think after the initial shock of the release, people stopped talking about it because it was so ridiculously expensive. Hourglass decided to come out swinging with single shadows for $29 fucking dollars that didn't even look that exciting or special at all. And Hourglass had to be smoking something because $29. I thought Urban Decay's single eyeshadows were expensive at $18. $29? I don't remember seeing a single positive comment about this when it came out. I remember everybody being like, are you fucking kidding me? The 3-pan, like the trio of eyeshadows was like $99. And then the 5-pan was like $161. $161 for 5 eyeshadows is ludicrous, okay? Ludicrous, not the rapper. Holy shit. Hourglass. Why did you think that this was a, what?
Why are you the way that you are?
This was such a baffling release because of all of the things that people had been asking from Hourglass to expand their powder ranges, to not put out the same boring blush palette every single year, to bring back some products that people really liked that they discontinued. But no, they didn't do any of those things. They like kind of expanded on the bronzers, like barely. But then they came out with single eyeshadows for 29 bucks a pop. I'm like,
no.
huh? No. And the colors are just so bland. The least special, again, very similar to the colors in this friggin' Urban Decay Eternals palette, very 2015. Speaking of things that were too expensive, Gucci's Cushion Foundation, which was ridiculously overpriced. But that wasn't the only reason why this was a bad release. The packaging was beautiful, but this foundation had the most embarrassing range for a foundation in the year of our Lord 2021. Unacceptable, really. Unacceptable foundation range. Unacceptable! The thing with Gucci and a lot of these other like designer brands that make makeup is like, I understand that they're not making makeup for like regular consumers. They're making makeup for people who have enough money to spend on God knows what and are already like diehard fans of that fashion house. And they're like, oh, I have Gucci shoes, I have Gucci purse, I'm gonna have Gucci foundation. Like, but really, nobody needs a Gucci foundation. Just like sell the compact. The compact was pretty. The compact was beautiful, but like don't put any foundation in it and sell it for less. Thank you. $56 for this sad shade range. The fuck is this? Literally the bottom comment by a friend of mine, by a YouTube pal of mine. Literally is, what the fuck is this? Yeah, no. Gucci, no.
Next.
Jaclyn Hill's bronzer range. Now, Jaclyn actually put out a decent blush range this year. There were, a lot of them look kind of similar, but they did actually have some pigmentation to it, and they had like there were enough shades, and it was like not awful. It wasn't something that I was excited about, but it wasn't like something to complain much about. The bronzers, on the other hand, was bad, was very bad. Her excuse was abysmal. Her excuse was that, oh, I only had my arm to work off of to test the bronzers.
Excuse me, bitch?
Who tests bronzers on one skin tone? Not somebody who has the amount of power and influence and money as Jaclyn Hill. And to try and like play it off that she's like a small fledgling indie brand, no. Again, unacceptable. This bronzer range, it could have been cool. It could have been good because she started out with like 4 or 5, like a decent amount of bronzers for an initial launch. Like bronzers, I think, are one of those things where if you have a wide enough gradient between the shades, like if it goes dark enough and if it goes light enough, you don't necessarily need to have like a lot of those like slight changes and undertones in between things. So you don't really need like 20 bronzers, but only if they have a color that goes fucking dark enough for them. And the swatches of this at least were truthful, but they were bad. They were bad swatches. Because on the darkest arm, they swatched these bronzers. They looked gray and light and sad. And, you know, we had to have at least one Jaclyn Hill release in this video because you guys know me so well. Apparently, I forgot in my makeup archives of 2019, I forgot that Lipstick Gate existed when I did my makeup archives from that year, and I was like, how did I forget that?
How?
Anyway, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Next, Colourpop's Neon collection. Now, Colourpop has put out too many collections to count. They came out with the Hocus Pocus one, the Lizzie McGuire one, the Nightmare Before Christmas. They've come out with a ton. Not ones that I've like particularly enjoyed, but not ones that I would really put in any sort of list that like, this is bad. The Neon collection, on the other hand, was bad because they were marketing it as a neon collection, right? The neon palettes. The packaging itself was really cool. It was very like early 2000s kind of jellies type packaging. It was hitting my nostalgia right here. And so it could have been neat. However, rather than doing a palette that had all neon shades or 3 palettes with like several neon shades mixed with other ones, they had 3 palettes, right? That had one was an orange, one was a pink, and then one was like a green. But instead of having those palettes be like saturated with neons, they had 1 neon shade in each palette and then 4 very neutral neutrals. Like not even like super special neutrals. They could have been interchangeable between the 3 palettes. There really wasn't any difference between the palettes except the specific neon shade that they included. So to have like a neon themed palette where 1 of 5 shades is neon, who do you think you are fooling, Colourpop? Not me. Not many people on YouTube. This was embarrassing. Like, I understand that with a lot of different neon pigments, like neon pigment in and of itself is not fully certified by the FDA, and so when you have a lot of palettes that have like neon pigments, they have to be classified as like pressed pigment palettes because they're technically not safe for the eyes for staining. So I get that, not wanting to have a bunch of different like neon colors and be like, you can't even call it an eyeshadow palette. Then don't call it neon then. That was I looked at that and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you serious, Colourpop? Really? Your version of a neon is 1 neon and 4 neutrals? No. Next. P. Louise. P. Louise. I haven't talked about P. Louise in a while. And honestly, I'd kind of forgotten that P. Louise existed until recently. When I was watching back some videos and scrolling through Instagram and being like, oh, P. Louise had a... What? All I see is dollar signs? And it's an orange palette? I've never been a fan of P. Louise as like an influencer or as a brand, really. The colors themselves have never been like awful. Like when I've looked at palettes that they've come out with, the color stories by themselves, I'm like, oh, that's fine. I would probably wear that. But it's never been something super special or unique. The part about P. Louise that's always really turned me off as far as buying any products, besides just the person, is how bulky everything is and how tacky the packaging is. I feel like P. Louise takes some of the tackiness of Too Faced and like ramps it up a notch, because at least Too Faced palettes are sleek. Like they're actually like compact and have some sort of design aesthetic that makes sense as an eyeshadow palette or as a blush palette. Like at least Too Faced makeup makes sense as makeup in a makeup collection. Like it's not giant for the sake of being giant. P. Louise, on the other hand, that brand, their eyeshadow palettes are really something else. They're giant. They're ridiculous. They are unnecessarily huge and heavy and stupid looking. I think it was last year when they had the like P. Louise's canceled collection, and it had like headlines of things, and it was just like making an entire collection based out of like victimizing yourself for like mistakes that you made. Like, anyway, but the All I See Is Dollar Signs collection is so god awful for different reasons. 1, again, the packaging is big and bulky and dumb. 2, the actual design of the palette itself, the graphic design drives me up a wall. Like the graphic design, oh, I hate it. I need to make a video, actually, this might be a good video for this month. Brands that, whose graphic design make my heart go ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. There are some brands where I wouldn't even think twice about like the color story. I'm like, oh, the color story. But looking at just like the graphic design and the marketing, the way that they design their palettes, so aesthetically pleasing. Like, oh my God. P. Louise is the opposite of that. It's so tacky and god-awful. The font is ridiculous. I hate it so much. But the other weird part about this collection and about this palette was that the theme is All I See Is Dollar Signs, and yet it's orange and fall and autumnal and like reds and rusts and browns and no greens. I don't know about you, but when I think of dollar signs, I think of green. Like if I'm thinking like dollars, like a palette, because there's been plenty of brands that have done things themed around money. Like Kylie Cosmetics did one, hers was more like gold. There's been plenty of brands that have done things themed around money. And you never think orange and red and rust and brick and yellow and mustard when you think of money themed palettes. Like this was just baffling, all around unappealing, all around not a fan. Not a fan. Oh my god, it was so ugly. I was like, are you kidding me? What? I almost wonder, like, if I put it on a scale, if I put a P. Louise palette on a scale, how many palettes it would take for me to, like, equal the weight of a P. Louise palette. Like, how many normal size palettes it would take me to get to the weight of a P. Louise. Probably at least 3 or 4. I'm just saying. 2 more things. 2 more. Anastasia Beverly Hills. How the mighty have fallen. I've said this before, I will say it again. Anastasia has lost so much of what made them special to begin with, and I don't want to blame one person except Norvina. Just saying. I don't know why she thought doing business the way that she has was the right way to go. I really don't. I don't understand the moves that she made. I don't understand the thought behind it. Just seems so all over the place. Just the releases, the choices, the hiring, all of it. Just so disappointing, because for a brand that was so well respected in the industry, both like the actual makeup industry and then in like the beauty community, like the content creation industry, I guess, across the board, ABH was very well respected. And they have some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. They have one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. Like, I still have my ABH products and I love them. But seeing their holiday release this year, the Primrose palette was so... I saw it, I was like, is this a Sigma palette? No shade to Sigma, but like, Sigma's not ABH. So uninspiring. And again, it's like ABH is kind of trying to hit back at that nostalgic stuff, like doing makeup that looks a little bit older fashioned. But this, I don't think, is the way to do it, because it just looks ugly and it just looks boring. Like, you can do this kind of nostalgic throwback makeup and still make it look expensive and look cool and still make it kind of match your own brand and make it desirable. Because the fact that this was a holiday release is it's the least desirable looking palette. There's nothing about it that makes me want to go, oh, I want that. There's nothing special about it. If you had told me like 4 years ago, when I was so all in about ABH and just like simping so hard for ABH, that they would be putting out holiday releases like this, when was Prism a holiday release back in the day? I know that, like, I feel like Sultry was. I don't remember. There were several holiday releases that ABH put out that were really special and really cool. This was not one of them, though. Like, it's more boring than like Too Faced holiday releases this year, which is saying a lot. It kind of made me sad. I mean, not sad for ABH, because it's like, it's a corporation and I really don't care that much. I don't know. It's just kind of sad. Like, oh man, they could have kept going, and yet they just decided to make the choices that they made and shot themselves in the foot. Pretty much. So, ABH. We hardly knew ye. Last and least, which I know you guys are all expecting me to talk about, there's no surprise here. The worst release of the year was by far released right at the beginning of January, and it was
Mac and Sims.
Everything about this release was laughably bad. Literally everything. One, people weren't even sure if it was like a real palette, so it was confusing, because they were like, is this a palette in the game? Can you buy this? So that's one check off the bad release. 2, the color story was sad and boring and had nothing to do with The Sims at all. Like, even like the names of the shades, nothing matched The Sims in the slightest. So that's 2. And then 3, it was just a repackaged old palette that they put in a new box. Literally just a new box. Not even new case, not even new packaging with old colors, just old palettes in a new box. And it was so bad. The Sims community is used to being disappointed by things that EA does. So was this kind of on brand? Probably. Like, Oh, EA did a disappointing thing? Oh, color me surprised. None of these colors are surprising. They're all boring and sad and bland and desaturated and just look like, they looked like the skin tones that the Sims natural skin tones used to be. Now that they finally have expanded those, that's great. But the fact that it took people years of arguing and fighting with the brand to actually expand the skin tones in the game. The modding community keeps the Sims alive. Without mods and without the custom content creators, The Sims would not be as popular as it is. Just saying. Basically, after this palette came out, you had a ton of people on Instagram just coming up with their own color stories. I did a video about it because I was like, this is so bad. I have all these ideas. Like, please put me in, coach. Like, I just have all these ideas. Like, please. I have so many ideas. They're just bursting out of my brain. And this was so bad. So bad. Nothing about the Calientes. Nothing about Bella Goth. God, the opportunities for colors and for lore to make its way into a collection. Oh, there were so many opportunities and they just squandered all of them. You have a life simulator where people can do most literally anything in the game, within reason, because of mods. But so many things that they could have done and they could have used as inspiration for a makeup collection, and they put out a teeny tiny gray ashy already released uninspiring unrelated palette in a Sims box, just a blue box with the Sims logo on it, and that's it. I saw that, I was like, are you fucking serious? And everyone reacted the same way. Nobody reacted positively. Everyone in the Sims community that I saw reacting to it, it was awful. Everyone in the makeup community I saw reacting to it, it was awful. I didn't see any positive responses to this collection at all. No posts anywhere did I see people hyping this up in the slightest. Everyone was dunking on it. It was the worst release of 2021. Just swing and a miss, just bad, just all around bad. But it's so funny to look back on that it's almost been a year since that happened. Oh man. Anyway, those are all the products that I thought were terrible from this year. Please go check out Mia's video. Her video will be linked below as well as in a card. And go subscribe to her channel because she's cool and doesn't have nearly enough subscribers. So like go follow her and like subscribe and stuff. So go check out her channel and go check out what she thought were the worst releases of the year. I guarantee there's, there might be some crossover, but she definitely has other things to talk about because I have no idea what she talked about and she has no idea what I talked about. So hopefully we didn't talk about all the same things. For today's song of the day, let me check. What Christmas song do I want to have as today's song of the day? Let me find my Christmas mix. Come On Let's Boogie to the Elf Dance by Sufjan Stevens. It is off his giant Christmas album that came out over a decade ago at this point. So there's a lot of different songs on there if you're curious. If you want to listen to some Sufjan Stevens Christmas music, there's a lot. But yeah, Come On Let's Boogie to the Elf Dance is fun and upbeat and not too sickly sweet. Check out the video that Josh and I did on Monday where we baked Christmas cookies. We had a lot of fun with that and I thought it was a pretty silly video, so go check that out. It'll be up in a card as well as down linked below. If you would like to follow me elsewhere on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, or Twitch, Instagram and Twitter are both Abers07 and Twitch is Abers without the 07. So if you'd like to follow me there, I play games and stuff, and on Instagram I post pictures usually of my face, my food, my house, I don't know, sometimes my clothes, anything really. And then on Twitter, I'm not as active on Twitter as I used to be, but that is also a good place to keep up with when I'm uploading new videos because I do post new videos there if you somehow miss them in your subscription feed. Because I know that there's a lot of people doing Vlogmas this year, and sometimes it can get a little bit lost in the feed because I know I have missed some videos and I've been catching up the last few days. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Again, go check out Mia's video, linked below. She's great. Go subscribe to her. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you are having a good week. I hope you are getting hydrated, well rested. Please go drink some water. Yeah. Have a good week, everyone, and I will see you all on Friday. Bye!